Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. What we're going to do is get a brief review of what's called harful jar or huruful jar. Harf, remember that there's 3 parts of speech in Arabic. While English has 8 parts of speech, Arabic has 3 parts of speech, and all 8 of those parts of speech in English are covered in the Arabic. So we have ism, which is the nouns and things that fall under that, such as pronouns, adverbs, all those things that fall under the nouns, adjectives. Then we have the fa'l are the verbs, and then we have harf. Harf are the different words that by themselves, they really don't say anything. They're just statements, they're portions, they fall in different categories, like the harful jar, which we're going to be covering today, which is preposition. So the plural of harf is huruf. So if you hear huruf, it means that it's going to be, more than one. So huruful jar means prepositions. But I want us to review prepositions and how they impact the noun, okay, how they impact the word. But there's also other lessons and reminders in this that we're going to see, inshallah ta'ala. So let's begin. First, we see the word here on the screen, al-baytu. Now, remember, when the noun is just not specific, but a general noun, it's just like any bait, then we know that means that it's pronounced baytun, that the dhamma on the end is double. So it's not baytu, it's baytun. But when you put that aleph and lam in front of the word and make it al, you're making it the bait, right? And you're making it specific now. It's a definite article. Without the al, it's called an indefinite article. Now that we have al, it's a definite article. So baytun with the al in front of it becomes al baytu. Okay? What we're going to observe is what happens when we bring in harful jar, when we bring in a preposition and how it impacts the word. Okay? Inshallah ta'ala. So we said al-baytu. We bring in the harful jar, we bring in the preposition called fi, which means in. And now, instead of it just being al-baytu, we now have fil bayti. See, so when you put the preposition in front of the noun, that noun becomes what's called majrur, M-A-J-R-U-R. Just you can write it like that. It means that it's being impacted by a harful jar, right? And also remember, we said that when it comes to words, there's a scale, and that's called a wazn, and words are written on a wazn. So one of the scales of the words is called fa'il. Fa'il is like we mentioned before in one of our classes, like shahid, okay? So the shahid is the one who's witnessing. But then the one who's receiving or having that done to them is called the mashhud. So here we have harful jar is impacting this noun, so this noun becomes majrur. See the scale? Mashhud, majrur. Mahbud, majrur. Mahmud, majrur. Okay, so this word is being impacted by jar, harful jar, so this word becomes majrur. Okay, so originally al-baytu now becomes fil bayti. So when a preposition strikes the noun takes a kesra instead of a dhamma. So you say aina abuk. Where is your father? Aina abuk. Where is your father? You say huwa, he is, fil bayti. He is in the house. Fil bayti. Okay? So we see that when you put the fil, the fi in front of al bayt, instead of being al baytu, it becomes al bayti. Okay, let's move on to our next example, inshallah ta'ala. Next example. This is what you call al haqibat. This is the bag. This can be used to refer to your briefcase, this particular type of bag, al haqibat. Okay, so let's use it. It would have been nice if we had the briefcase picture, but let's anyway. So al haqibati. Subhanallah. Al haqibatu. If this was without the al, it would be haqibatun, right? Because it's a noun, it would be indefinite. Since it's definite, we're talking about that specific bag right there in the image is al haqibatu, al haqibatu, Al-haqibatu. Now let's see what happens if we bring a harmful jar into this situation. So now we see that the book, the Arabic course, Medina book, is going into the bag. So we see now al-haqibatu becomes fil haqibati, in the bag. Fil haqibati. Aina kitab, where is the book? Fil haqibati. Ainul kitab, where is the book? Fil haqibati. Okay, it's in the bag. Okay, let's go to our next example. Now make sure you're making notes of this, inshallah ta'ala. That's why I'm leaving some of it on the screen long enough. Like write the words down, put this in your notes because you'll see some drills coming after this, inshallah ta'ala. Now we have al-masjidu. Al-masjidu. So this means the masjid, a specific masjid, right? When we don't have al, it's just masjidun. Remember, when there's not a definite article and you don't have al, it's masjidun. So remember these two words, these two things as if they're allergic to each other. Where there's al, there can't be there can't be damatain. There can't be a tanween on the end. And where there is no tanween, there's al, and where there's al, no tanween. So when there's al, you can't have tanween, you have u. So instead of saying masjidun, we say al masjidun. Al masjidu. Al masjidu. Okay, the masjid. Let's see how we're going to approach this with harful jar, with a preposition. So you say it was al masjidu. Now we have ilal masjidi. So this preposition ila means to. Ila, to. So you say aina akhi. Where's my brother? Huwa dhahaba ilal masjidi. He went to the masjid. Ilal masjidi. Ilal masjidi. So al masjidu became ilal masjidi, to the masjid. All right, let's check out next example. This image that you see in the right-hand corner is called maktabu. Al-maktabu. Now, this is very important. If you look at this word, you see a kaf, ta, and ba. These are the root letters of this word, and as most words have three letter roots, which is called triliteral. Kaf, ta, and ba. And anything with these three letters have something to do with books or writing or something connected to it, okay? Now, when you put a meme in front of a word, then it describes something connected to that. But when you put meme with a fatah, it describes a place. Like, for example, when you pray, you make sujood, right? You make sajda, you make sujood. The place where you make sujood is called masjid. You notice you have the meme fatah in front of it? So the place where you make sujood is called masjid, right? Masjid. The place, if you wanted to go read books, the place where you go read books is called the maktaba. Maktaba. You see how you have the meme fatah that describes the place? When you have meme dhamma in front of it, it describes the person or the one or the thing that has those characteristics when you put meme dhamma. Okay? And when you use meme kesra, then you're describing a tool. So let's see. Meme fatah describes the place that something happens, right? Like maktaba, that's where you go for the books. Okay, here we have, maktaba. Here we have maktabu, al-maktabu, and we see it's a desk. It also refers to offices, okay? So places where you deal with writing or reading or something to deal with those materials will have this root, kaf, taba. Kataba means he wrote, okay? Aktubu means I write. So again, now, when you look at meme fatah, it describes the place. Maktaba, a library, a place where the books are. Masjid, the place where you make sujood, right? Okay? So this is an example. And then when you have the dhamma, it describes the one or the thing that has those characteristics. For example, jihad, right? What do we call the person who engages in that? Some people even have that name as their name. Mujahid, right? So when you put the mu in front of it, it describes the one who has that characteristic. You say hamd is praise. We say Muhammad, describing the one who fits that characteristic. So you see, the meme with the Dhamma describes the one who has the characteristics. Now you say meme with Kesra describes a tool. Okay, so you say Fatah. Fatah means to open. Okay, and then what's the tool that you use to open the door? Miftahun. Miftahun, the key. So you see, with meme Kesra, it describes whatever tool is being used to serve the purpose. With meme Dhamma, it describes the person who has those characteristics. And with meme Fatah, it describes the place that a thing happens on. Okay, so I was thinking that this session that we have here with Heartful Jar will give us an action-packed, loaded opportunity for benefits, inshallah ta'ala, okay? So we have al-maktabu, the desk. Okay, let's see what happens when the Heartful Jar rolls in. So now we have the book is on top of the desk, it's on the desk. So we say, Ilal maktabu, Ilal maktabi. Aina kitab, where's the book? Ilal maktabi, it is on the desk. Ilal maktabi. So you see, Ila, upon or on, is a preposition. And this is the word that you see. Ila is very important that if you look at that aleph, that ayn and that lam, and you have what's called uh, aleph maksura, the ya without the dots. If you put two dots on that ya, put a kaf and a meme, you would have alaykum. See, so now you see the word that we say is not assalamu alaikum, it's assalamu alaykum, alaykum. So it means alaykum, ayla means upon, and the kaf, dhamma meme on the end, the kum on the end, means you all, plural. So when we greet each other with assalamu alaikum, we're saying to the person, peace be upon you all. Like it's elevating the respect of the greeting by saying assalamu alaikum. Because to a man, you could say assalamu alaikum. To a woman, you can say assalamu alaikum. And oftentimes, because we're learning the language and becoming familiar, you find that people will say assalamu alaikum. And you find sisters saying assalamu alaikum to each other, showing that they're gaining in knowledge of the Arabic. But still, the best of greetings is what we got from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so Ain al-Maktab, Ain al-Kitab, where is the book? Ilal Maktabi. It is on the desk. Okay, so al-Maktabu became al-Maktabi because the preposition, the harful jar, the preposition Ila was placed in front of it and it impacted that noun where it has a kesra on the end. And what do we say that's called? It's being majrur. Majrur, because it's getting the jar done to it, so it's being majrur. That's the easiest way I could find to say that. Okay. So it went back to al-maktabu because there's nothing else being connected to it. Our next. So now let's go here and take a minute to think over what we just went through, what we just found out. If you already knew, alhamdulillah, you had a review. If you learned something, then alhamdulillah, there's benefit. So the instruction here, read the sentences in a loud voice. That means with Arabic, you don't want to just like have a habit of reading to yourself. You want to read out loud. You know how in English, we learn how to read and then, you go in the corner, you read the book and somebody hear you read, man, can't you read that book to yourself? So we have this thing where, you read to yourself because, whatever, respect, not making noise or interfering with other people. But with Arabic, because it's a new language to you, you want to read it, let your tongue, you want to read it out loud as often as possible. And out loud, of course, it's not required that you scream it, right? But reading it out loud means let yourself hear you reading it. And the better you become at reading the Arabic out from your tongue, your reading is actually getting better. Because sometimes when you're reading just in your mind, as you're looking at it, you may be working your way through it, but you're not exercising your real ability to read it. So read it out loud. So you want to read this sentence, okay, this jumla, the iqra al-jumla, read the following sentences, and you want to place the correct ending. So in that last word, you want to place the correct ending. So there'd be a dhamma, a fatha, or a kesra on the last word, okay? So write this sentence down, and then read it out, and then put the correct ending on it. I'll give you a minute to do that, and then we'll check and see if what we have matches the answer that you give. And then we go on to the next one. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay. So what do we have here? I hope you've written it down. Okay, maybe you need another minute. Okay, here we go. So the sentence says, Al-Kitabu Ilal Maktab. And did you put Maktabu, Maktaba, or Maktabi? Okay, if you wrote Al-Kitabu Ilal Maktabi, then you were correct. Okay, putting a kesra under the ba. Here's our next sentence. And please just take a minute, really get your notebook and write these things down. If you missed the first one, just, play the video back a little further, when you get a chance and, review the video and just do it over. But even if okay, we already did the answers, so I don't have to know. Write it down anyway. Get your practice in with writing and reading. Do the work. Trust me, if you struggle on the front end of life, struggle on the front end of your Arabic studies, you'll be able to relax a little bit on the back end because things will come a little easier. Do the hard work now, and you'll find that the other things that you learn going down the road will get easier because you'll have such a foundation. And also, the more you work on your reading, the more you can come to enjoy it. The more you discover how it works, the more you can come to enjoy it. We want Arabic to be a thing that we have a thirst for the knowledge of it, that we enjoy what it's getting ready to do because it's going to open the doors to understand the Quran. We don't want it to be something tedious and that we get feel like, oh boy, back in school, oh ho hum. No, this can be a beautiful, enjoyable experience. Okay, let's go to the next sentence, inshallah. I hope I gave you enough time to write that sentence now. Okay, here's the next sentence. And we'll also deal with whatever words that seem new, we'll explain the meanings of them. So read this sentence out to yourself and then indicate the harakat, the vowel you will put on the end. Will you put a fatah on the end, a dhamma on the end, or a kesra on the end of this sentence? Write the sentence out and then read it out to yourself out loud. And then read it out loud with what you consider the correct ending on the last word. Okay? Give you a couple of minutes to write the sentence out and get a chance to read it. Okay, alhamdulillah. What we're getting in this brief review and lesson about the huruf al-jar, about the prepositions, we're getting good either lessons about some other things about the Arabic, or at least a good opportunity to benefit some reminders about the Arabic. Either way, I hope that this presentation proves of some benefit to everyone. That maybe each of you will find something in it, either that you didn't already know, so alhamdulillah, or something that you remember it, but it's giving you another way to look at it now, or some easier way to remember it. Inshallah ta'ala, I pray that Allah ta'ala makes it some kind of benefit. So our next sentence is Dhahabtu ilal masjidi. If you put the kesra, then you would have been right. Dhahabtu ilal masjidi. I went to the masjid. Dhahabtu. So the word dhahaba is past tense for he went, or it's past tense for went. And dhahaba, the three fatas, is he went. Dhahabtu is I went. Okay, I went ilal, right, to the masjid. And the ila, because ila is a preposition, harful jar, then masjid has to take the kesra. Let's see if we're right. Okay, alhamdulillah. The next sentence. Take a look at this, because now we have someone else involved. Now we have a person's name, so we're getting a little bit of a story in it now. Okay? So let's read this sentence, write it down, and then read it. Read it out loud. And then put the correct ending on the last word. Now, what's very important is, even though you may figure, because of the pattern, the correct letter is going to be, the correct vowel is going to be the kesra, even if it's true that it may be the correct one all the time, and it might not be, but even if it is true, still don't let that stop you from doing the other work, from writing the sentence and reading it. That's where your real benefit is going to come from, writing it and reading it. Putting a kesra or a dhamma, alhamdulillah, you're learning the rule, but learning to read the Arabic. Okay, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so what we see here, Zainabu. So here you see we have Zainab. Zainab is a lady's name. So ladies' names don't take the tanween. Like if you had Muhammad, you say Muhammadun, right? But when it's Aisha, you say Aisha too, Zainabu, Khadija, Khadija too. You don't put the tanween, you don't double the tanween on female ladies. That's just, be glad we Muslim, because that's the only kind of ladies we have to deal with. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Zainabu, fil, we have the word fi in the middle, which is in, right? And that's harful jar, it's a preposition. Zainabu fil bait. So is it fil baitu, fil baita, or fil baiti? That's correct. Since we have a preposition, which is fi, or for in, then we say Zainabu fil baiti. Zainabu fil baiti. Zainab is in the house. Also remember, when you have nouns or anything that ends with the dhamma, right, or the tanween, the dhamma tan, when you say the words by themselves or at the end of a sentence, you don't have to pronounce the final vowel. We're dealing with the al-bayti in these sentences, so you know that if you were writing it, you put a kesra there, but you wouldn't have to say fil-bayti if you don't, So in other words, if you say Zainab, like when we talk about if we mention in somebody, we say, so where's Zainab? Well, she's in the house. We just say Zainab. We don't say where's Zainabu. We say Zainab. And I told some of the folks in our Arabic class when we were doing the classes at Master Mukman, either earlier this year or last year, in Buffalo, New York, and my brother Shamsuddin, he's familiar with this. There was a community just outside of Buffalo, New York, in West Valley called Jabal Arabia, and there was a man named Ilyas who I forget his full name, Izzuddin, I think. But anyway, he was teaching the people. He established a Muslim community out there. He was teaching them the Arabic. Alhamdulillah. But when it came to the names, he really didn't seem to know about dropping the final harakas, as well as not putting the tanween on the females' names. So I met people who were from that community. One brother, his name was Khairun, right? Not Khair, not Khair or Khairi, Khairun. That was his name because of the Dhammatain. There was a lady whose name would have been Jannah. Her name was Jannatun. So even with the females' names, he doubled the tanween. So I'm saying to you, this is what you experience based on the information that you work with. But you can see how he was trying to stick with the Arabic as he understood the rules to apply. Alhamdulillah. So when you say Zainab, you won't say Zainabu. When you say Aisha, you won't say Aisha too. Unless you just, people have fun with each other. But in general, no. So Zainabu fil baiti. Zainab is in the house. Now, should we put beta, beitu, or beitin? Beiti. If you put beiti, then again, you were correct. Okay. The next one. And Najmu. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Read this sentence, write it down, read it out loud so you can hear yourself reading what it says. Okay, I'll give you a minute to do that. And again, like I said, even if you believe that this sentence is going to end with a kesra or a dhamma or a fatah, whatever you believe we're going to end it with, still take a moment to read it. Let yourself read it, and let it become a practice that you engage in, getting some reading in. So the other reason why I'm sending you this brief review and update is also not just for the lesson, because the lesson, alhamdulillah, it's always good to get a lesson. If we learn something today, Allah Ta'ala let us benefit, that means He intended some good for us today. But also just so we can have some practice just reading some Arabic, okay? So if you finish writing this sentence and reading it, let's see what we have here. We have and najmu. Now here it gives me an opportunity to share something else with you, very important. Many of you probably already know that in Arabic, the letters are divided into two types. Okay, there's hurufu shamsiya, which means sun letters. Hurufu shamsiya, the shams is the sun. Hurufu shamsiya and hurufu qamariya. Hurufu qamariya. Qamar is the sun, is the moon. Qamar, qaf, fata, mim, like that. Qamar, not the kha, not the khayes, not the wine. The qamar is the moon. Okay, qamar. So shamsiya means sun letters. Okay, when you have moon letters and you have al, all of these words that you saw here, like al kitab, al maktab, right? When you see al masjid and you saw al bait, all of those, the kaf in kitab, the meme in masjid, and the ba in bait, all of these are moon letters. So whenever you have al in front of a letter that's a moon letter, you see that sukoon over the lam, you put sukoon on the lam and you say al when it's a moon letter. When it's a sun letter, you don't have sukoon over the lam. You have, for example, you have an najmu right there, just starting with that. We skip over the lam and you see that noon has a shadda on it. Because noon is a sun letter, you don't pronounce the L or the lam. You double the sound of noon and you say an-najmu, an-najmu, because that's how sun letters are handled. You don't say al. Like we don't say al-salamu alaikum. We say as-salamu alaikum because seen is a sun letter. You see? And we say as-sunnah, as-sunnah. When we say the sunnah, we say as-sunnah because seen is a sun letter. Okay, so here we have sun letters in this sentence. Both words begin with sun letters. So we have an najmu fi sama, fi sama. I won't pronounce the last vowel yet. Fi sama. So you have fi. You can't say fil because the lam can't take a sukoon because the first letter seen is a sun letter. So that shadda is showing you that you double it. Now remember, sometimes you might start reading and see some things where they don't have the vowels or they don't have a shadda. Once you learn those 14 letters of the Arabic, because it's divided, 14 are sun letters, 14 are moon letters. Once you learn those 14 letters that are sun letters, and here's the thing that's easy about the Arabic. If you just learn either the 14 letters that are sun letters, you don't even have to learn the moon letters per se in your reading because it's not one of the sun letters, so you say al. And then as you work, you get it. But, you want to learn both groups. But an easy way to get yourself moving, study and learn all of the sun letters, the ones that have to be doubled. Okay, so even if you don't see a shadda on the word, okay, that's a scene, so I got to pronounce that as-sama, as-sama. Okay, so we have an-najmu fis-sama. Now, because we have the harful jara, we have the preposition fi, which means in, then we're saying whatever that first word is in the second word. So an-najmu is the star. Okay, najm is star. And najmu is the star. Fi in sama'i. So we put a kesra under that hamza. We say sama'i. That's the sky. The star is in the sky. So let's see if us putting a kesra there is correct. Okay, so we should have had a kesra there. Let's go to our next sentence. Now you notice that we're getting a lot of well, not a lot, but now we're getting our back-to-back sun letters. Okay, so read the sentence, write it down, and I'll give you a minute to do that, inshallah. Okay, take a minute to write it down. And remember, again, even if you believe that the ending is going to be a dhamma, a fata, or a kesra, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Even if you believe that, still take that moment to read. Okay, take that moment to read the sentence and the word. Okay, inshallah. Okay, and we should be ready now, right? Okay. So we have at tufa, at tufa. Now remember, we have at because the ta is a sun letter, so we can't say al ta. Okay, so we say at tu, so we're pronouncing the ta two times, right? At tuf, but now that fa that's following it also has a shudder on it. So you say at tufa, you're pronouncing the fa two times. At tufahu, at tufahu. So tufahu. So whatever this is, that this thing called the tufahu, Ila is upon or on F, F because ta and tha are both sun letters. And here's another clue for you. When you look at your Arabic alphabet, you notice that the Arabic letters, some of them are in groups. They look alike, like dal and thou, ta and tha, right? Those type of letters that resemble each other in that form have the same rule. If ta is a sun letter, fa is a sun letter. If seen is a sun letter, sheen is a sun letter. Like that, okay? Ra is a sun letter, zay is a sun letter. Like that. So those letters that resemble each other in these groups or families, then they're the same. Jim, ha, ha, all moon letters. You see? Al Jabbar, right? Like that, okay? So we say Alhamdulillah, right? The hat. So you see, so here you have at tufahu, ilath. So you're not going to say ilal, you say ilath with the tha, ilath, large. Okay. So you're seeing that the lam is being doubled as well. Ilath large. Okay. And we have on the end what would be a ha, but that ha, because it's a feminine, is ta mabuda. That's called ta mabuda. So that's the way the word is written, but when you pronounce it like it's a soft, imperceptible ha, a soft, imperceptible H sound. Okay? So at tufahu, I left the large because the lam has an aleph following it, which elongates the sound of that fatha. I left the large, right? I left the large. Now, since we want to put a vowel on the end, we have to pronounce that ta mabuda like a T. So we say I left the large T, because this word, of course, ends with a kesra. Why? Because ila is a preposition. Ila is harful jar. Okay, so the ta on tufahu is a sun letter, and the tha on thalaja is a sun letter. So they both take the double when you make them definite articles, so you don't say al in front of them, okay? So let's check now for our kesra. So we see we were correct. And finally, here's the last one. Write this sentence down. Take a minute to write the sentence down. Oh, I'm sorry. At tufahu ala thalaja, tufahu is an apple. I'm sorry. At tufahu is an apple. So it says the apple. Ila is on or upon. Thalajat. The apple is on the refrigerator. Thalajat is your refrigerator. So you take these words and put them in practice. Work on saying tufahu when you speak about or ask about an apple. Say thalaja, when you refer to your refrigerator. Even if you can't say a whole sentence, use the Arabic words that apply to certain nouns so you become comfortable with it. Some of the people that I know from that I got exposed to as a new Muslim that I got exposed to in Rochester, we used to say things like that. If we didn't say dhahaba ila bayt, we would say, I'm going to my bayt. We say wife, we say zawj, zawja. Different terms that we knew, we put those words in there. You know what I mean? Even good words or bad words, we learned to say them in Arabic, and we just put them in their place, So inshallah ta'ala, work like that. So this last sentence we have, let's write it down and then let yourself read it. Take your time, pronounce the letters. If you're working on the alphabet, use what I call the cheat sheet. It's not cheating like invalidating because Abdul Malik here in Oklahoma gets on my kids about saying cheat sheet. But use that form, and I say whatever sheets and things you have to use, think of it like training wheels on a bike. I want you to use the training wheels till they fall off the bike if you have to, until you realize you're comfortable riding the bike. Because don't let yourself not grow. Don't let yourself not move forward because you feel like, man, I should have been further than this. I should be doing better. No, don't do that. If you need to refer to a sheet, watch. After a while, using it enough, you're not even gonna notice how much you're learning, but you're gonna start realizing you're going to the sheet less often to figure out what alphabet letter that is. You're going to the sheet less often to figure out what that vocabulary word is. Just keep doing it, inshallah ta'ala, and you'll find that it gets easy. Remember that there's no race. You're not racing with other people in the class. All you're doing is asking Allah to progress you, to benefit you, to grow so you can learn this language so you can read his book. So you want to learn how to read so you can read the Quran, and you want to learn how to read with understanding so you can understand the Quran. And ask Allah, just keep your intention pure for that, and inshallah ta'ala, he'll take us there. May Allah make that the case for all of us. Ameen. So our sentence here, kharaja. I'm sorry, kharajtu. I'm sorry. But the root word is kharaja. He went. He came out. Okay, kharaj is to exit, to come out of something. That's why the people who are the ones who kick people out of Islam, we call them the Khawarij. People who, if you commit a sin, they say you're not a Muslim anymore, kick you out of Islam, you're not a Muslim. These are people who are about overthrowing governments and doing the type of terrorism and things you see. So kharaja means to exit. So kharaja means he came out. Kharajtu means I came out. Okay? So we have kharajtu, minel. Since the fa is a moon letter, now we can go back to saying al. So we say minel. Now look, that word min means from. Now here's something very important to know about min. Min is a word that almost always, if you see it, it's going to have sukoon. It always ends in sukoon. The only time you'll ever see a vowel on min is because it's in front of a definite article where a vowel needs to carry over that fatha to the lam, like you see there. So you see minal, okay? So kharajtu minal, I came out from. Min means from, okay? Kharajtu minal. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Min tashabahu bi qawmin from minhu." Subhanallah. Men tashabahu bi qawmin for huwa minhu. He said, "Men tashabaha, whoever resembles bi qawmin, a people, for huwa, then he is minhum, then he is from them." So this is why it's important for us to remember that we don't want to get off into imitating the kafirs or the kuffar in their celebrations, in their ways, in their habits, the things that are not good for our nobility. Okay, so we have kharajtu, I came out, minal, from. This word al, minal, fossil. Fa, sword, lam refers to classroom. Okay, so of course we know since min is harful jar, it's a preposition, or do we know? Am I right? Click, write yes or something if I'm right. Okay, kharajtu min al fasli. I came out from the classroom. So we put a kesra there because of the preposition, right? Min al fasli. Let's check and see. Alhamdulillah, we're right about that. So this is our closing statement. It says, ilal liqa'i. It means to the meeting, but it literally means to the meeting, but it means until we meet again. Ilal liqa'i means basically until we meet again, to the meeting, until we have a sitting or meeting again. Okay, until we sit together again until we meet again. And the bottom, there's your word. Then you can see how it looks now. Insha'Allah. Insha'Allah. You notice that it really consists of three words, right? In, which means if. Should it be the case? In, if. Sha'a. Sha'a means will. Sha'Allah, Allah's will. If Allah wills. Alhamdulillah bil alameen. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وأستغفرك وأتوب إليك وآخر دعوانا والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I pray this was of benefit. Ameen.